Who is Leonardo da Vinci? Leonardo da Vinci, 1452–1519, was an Italian polymath, painter, sculptor, architect, musician, mathematician, engineer, inventor, anatomist, geologist, cartographer, botanist, and writer. He is widely considered one of the greatest artists of all time and is known for creating some of the world's most famous works of art, including the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper. Leonardo was not only an artist but also a scientist and inventor. He is known for designing flying machines, war machines, and many other inventions that were far ahead of his time. He was also an accomplished musician and was known for his skill on the lyre and his beautiful singing voice. Leonardo was a true Renaissance man and made important contributions to many fields, including science, mathematics, engineering, and architecture. He was a pioneer in the study of human anatomy, and his detailed drawings of the human body are still used by medical students today. Despite his many talents and achievements, Leonardo was known for being a perfectionist and left many of his works unfinished. Nevertheless, his impact on art, science, and human knowledge continues to be felt today. Some text goes here. What is the significance of Leonardo da Vinci's notebooks, and what kind of information do they contain? Some text goes here. Leonardo da Vinci's notebooks are considered to be one of the most significant documents of the Renaissance period. They contain a wealth of information about his life, art, science, and ideas, as well as his observations and experiments. Leonardo's notebooks are important because they provide a unique insight into the mind of a genius. They give us a glimpse into his creative process and his quest for knowledge. The notebooks contain notes and sketches on a wide range of topics, including anatomy, botany, astronomy, physics, geology, and engineering. In addition to scientific and technical drawings, Leonardo's notebooks also contain his personal reflections and observations on life, art, and the world around him. They reveal his interest in philosophy, literature, and the human condition. Leonardo's notebooks were not published during his lifetime, and only a small number of people had access to them. It wasn't until the 19th century that they were rediscovered and became widely studied. Today, the notebooks are considered to be one of the most important documents of the Renaissance period and continue to inspire and influence artists and scientists around the world. Some text goes here. What was Leonardo da Vinci's most famous painting, and what is its significance? Some text goes here. Leonardo da Vinci's most famous painting is the Mona Lisa, also known as La Gioconda in Italian. It is a portrait of a woman believed to be Lisa Gherardini, the wife of a Florentine merchant. The painting was completed in the early 16th century, and is renowned for its enigmatic smile, subtle use of light and shadow, and the sense of mystery it evokes. The Mona Lisa is significant for a number of reasons. First, it is considered to be a masterpiece of Renaissance art, and is admired for its technical precision, realistic depiction of the subject, and the composition of the painting. Second, the painting has been the subject of much speculation and analysis over the years, with many scholars and art historians attempting to decipher the meaning behind the enigmatic smile and the symbolism in the painting. Finally, the Mona Lisa is one of the most recognizable works of art in the world, and has been reproduced countless times in popular culture, from advertising to film and television. Some text goes here. How did Leonardo da Vinci's interest in anatomy influence his artwork? Some text goes here. Leonardo da Vinci's interest in anatomy had a significant influence on his artwork. His meticulous study of the human body, including its structure and movement, allowed him to create more realistic and anatomically accurate figures in his paintings and drawings. Leonardo's approach to anatomy was unusual for his time, as he dissected human corpses to gain a better understanding of the body's internal workings. This allowed him to create more detailed and accurate drawings of bones, muscles, and organs, which he used to inform his depictions of the human form and his artwork. For example, in his famous painting, The Last Supper, Leonardo paid close attention to the musculature and movement of the figures, creating a sense of tension and drama through their poses and gestures. Similarly, in his drawings of the human form, such as the famous Vitruvian Man, Leonardo used his knowledge of anatomy to create a more accurate and realistic representation of the human body. In addition to influencing his artwork, Leonardo's interest in anatomy also had a significant impact on the field of medicine, as his detailed drawings and observations of the human body helped to advance our understanding of anatomy and physiology. Some text goes here. How did Leonardo da Vinci's inventions and designs influence the modern world? Some text goes here. Leonardo da Vinci's inventions and designs had a significant influence on the modern world. While many of his ideas were never actually built during his lifetime, his designs and concepts have inspired countless inventors and engineers in the centuries that followed. Some of Leonardo's most famous inventions include flying machines, such as ornithopters and helicopters, as well as designs for tanks, submarines, and other military technology. His drawings of these inventions were incredibly detailed and advanced for his time, and many of his concepts foreshadowed modern technology by several centuries. One of the key ways that Leonardo's inventions and designs influenced the modern world is by inspiring future generations of inventors and engineers. Many of his ideas, such as the concept of a flying machine, were not actually realized until much later, but his drawings and designs served as a blueprint for future innovations. In addition to his inventions, Leonardo also made significant contributions to the fields of architecture, engineering, and urban planning. His designs for bridges, canals, and other infrastructure projects were often ahead of their time, and many of his concepts have been used as the basis for modern engineering projects. Overall, Leonardo da Vinci's inventions and designs continue to inspire and influence innovators in a wide range of fields, and his legacy as a visionary inventor and artist remains an important part of our cultural heritage. Some text goes here. How did Leonardo da Vinci's interest in science and engineering influence his artwork? Some text goes here. Leonardo da Vinci's interest in science and engineering had a profound influence on his artwork. He believed that art and science were intimately connected, and he saw his work in both fields as part of a broader quest to understand the world around him. One of the ways in which Leonardo's interest in science and engineering influenced his artwork was through his use of perspective. He was one of the first artists to use linear perspective, a technique that creates the illusion of depth in three-dimensional space on a two-dimensional surface. This technique was based on his understanding of the geometry of vision, which he studied in his work on optics and visual perception. Leonardo's interest in science and engineering also allowed him to create more realistic and anatomically accurate figures in his artwork. His meticulous study of the human body, including its structure and movement, allowed him to create lifelike and dynamic figures in his paintings and drawings. Furthermore, Leonardo's interest in science and engineering also allowed him to experiment with new materials and techniques in his artwork. For example, he was one of the first artists to use oil paints, which allowed him to create a wider range of colors and to experiment with new textures and effects. Overall, Leonardo da Vinci's interest in science and engineering had a significant influence on his artwork, allowing him to create innovative and groundbreaking works that continue to inspire and captivate audiences to this day. Some text goes here. What are some of the most interesting facts about Leonardo da Vinci's life and work? Some text goes here. There are many interesting facts about Leonardo da Vinci's life and work. Here are just a few. 1. Leonardo was left-handed and wrote most of his notes in mirror writing, meaning that they had to be read from right to left in order to be understood. 2. Despite his incredible talents as an artist, Leonardo was largely self-taught, and never received a formal education in art. 3. Leonardo's painting, The Last Supper, which depicts the moment when Jesus announces that one of his disciples will betray him, is painted on a wall in the refectory of the Santa Maria del Grazie monastery in Milan, Italy. 4. Leonardo was a prolific inventor, and his designs included flying machines, tanks, and even robots. 5. In addition to his How did Leonardo da Vinci's study of light and shadow influence his paintings? Leonardo da Vinci's study of light and shadow, also known as chiaroscuro, had a profound influence on his paintings. He believed that the use of light and shadow was essential to creating a sense of depth and three-dimensionality in his artwork, and he spent a great deal of time studying the way that light interacts with different surfaces. One of the ways in which Leonardo's study of light and shadow influenced his paintings was through his use of sfumato, a technique that involves blending colors and tones together in order to create a soft, hazy effect. This technique allowed him to create a sense of depth and atmosphere in his paintings, and it was used to great effect in works such as the Mona Lisa and the Virgin of the Rocks. Leonardo was also known for his use of strong contrasts between light and shadow, which helped to create a dramatic effect in his paintings. This technique was used to great effect in works such as the Adoration of the Magi, where the light seems to illuminate the central figures of the painting and create a sense of movement and energy. Overall, Leonardo's study of light and shadow had a profound influence on his paintings, allowing him to create a sense of depth, atmosphere, and drama that set his work apart from that of his contemporaries. His innovative use of chiaroscuro helped to usher in a new era of art, and it continues to inspire and influence artists to this day. Some text goes here. What is the significance of the Vitruvian Man, and what does it represent? Some text goes here. The Vitruvian Man is a famous drawing by Leonardo da Vinci that depicts a man standing with his arms and legs outstretched inside a circle and a square. The drawing is based on the work of the Roman architect Vitruvius, who believed that the human body was the perfect embodiment of mathematical and geometric proportions. The significance of the Vitruvian Man lies in its representation of the ideal human form, and its use of mathematical and geometric principles to convey this ideal. The circle and square in which the figure is depicted represent the perfect geometric shapes, while the man's outstretched arms and legs are used to demonstrate the mathematical ratios that Vitruvius believed were essential to the perfect human form. In addition to its significance as a representation of the ideal human form, the Vitruvian Man is also an important example of Leonardo's artistic and scientific pursuits. The drawing demonstrates his interest in anatomy, geometry, and visual perception, and it has been admired for its technical precision, as well as its beauty. Overall, the Vitruvian Man is an important work of art and science, and it continues to be admired for its representation of the ideal human form and its use of mathematical and geometric principles to convey this ideal. Some text goes here. How did Leonardo da Vinci's interest in nature influence his artwork? Some text goes here. Leonardo da Vinci's interest in nature had a profound influence on his artwork. He believed that the natural world was a source of inspiration and knowledge, and he spent a great deal of time observing and studying the world around him. One of the ways in which Leonardo's interest in nature influenced his artwork was through his use of naturalistic details and motifs. He was known for his incredibly lifelike depictions of animals, plants, and landscapes, and he would often incorporate these elements into his paintings and drawings. For example, in his famous painting, the Mona Lisa, the background of the painting features a winding river, a bridge, and a winding road that leads into the distance. These natural elements give the painting a sense of depth and atmosphere, and they help to create a sense of mystery and intrigue. In addition to his use of naturalistic details, Leonardo was also interested in the underlying principles of nature, such as the patterns and rhythms of the natural world. He believed that these principles could be applied to his art, and he used them to create a sense of harmony and balance in his compositions. Overall, Leonardo da Vinci's interest in nature had a significant influence on his artwork, allowing him to create lifelike and dynamic depictions of the natural world, and to imbue his art with a sense of harmony and balance that continues to inspire and captivate audiences to this day. Some text goes here. How did Leonardo da Vinci's painting techniques differ from those of his contemporaries, and how did he innovate in this area? Some text goes here. Leonardo da Vinci's painting techniques differed significantly from those of his contemporaries, and he was known for his innovative and experimental approach to painting. One of the key ways in which he differed from his peers was in his use of layering and glazing techniques, which allowed him to create subtle variations in color and tone. Leonardo's layering technique involved building up the painting in thin layers, allowing each layer to dry before adding the next. This allowed him to create a sense of depth and richness in his paintings, and it also gave him greater control over the colors and tones he was using. In addition to his layering technique, Leonardo was also known for his use of sfumato, a technique that involved blending colors and tones together in order to create a soft, hazy effect. This technique allowed him to create a sense of depth and atmosphere in his paintings, and it was used to great effect in works such as the Mona Lisa and the Virgin of the Rocks. Another way in which Leonardo innovated in painting was through his use of perspective. He was one of the first artists to use linear perspective, a technique that creates the illusion of depth and three-dimensionality on a two-dimensional surface. This technique allowed him to create more realistic and lifelike depictions of space and distance in his paintings, and it was used to great effect in works such as The Last Supper. Overall, Leonardo da Vinci's painting techniques were innovative and experimental, and they helped to revolutionize the field of painting during the Renaissance period. His layering, glazing, and perspective techniques continue to influence artists to this day, and his legacy as a pioneering painter and innovator remains an important part of our cultural heritage. Some text goes here: what was the Mona Lisa's original name, and why is it so famous? Some text goes here. The Mona Lisa's original name is La Gioconda, which means the jocund or the happy one in Italian. The painting is famous for several reasons. First, it is widely regarded as one of the greatest masterpieces of the Renaissance period. It is admired for its technical precision, subtle use of light and shadow, and the enigmatic smile of the subject, which has captured the imagination of viewers for centuries. Second, the painting subject is shrouded in mystery. The identity of the woman in the painting is believed to be Lisa Gherardini, the wife of a Florentine merchant, but little is known about her life or why she was chosen as the subject of the painting. This mystery has only added to the painting's allure and appeal over the years. Finally, the painting has been the subject of much speculation and analysis over the years, with many scholars and art historians attempting to decipher the meaning behind the enigmatic smile and the symbolism in the painting. This has only added to the painting's reputation as one of the most important and mysterious works of art in the world. Overall, the Mona Lisa's original name is La Gioconda, and it is famous for its technical precision, the enigmatic smile of the subject, and the mystery that surrounds both the painting and its subject. Some text goes here: what is the significance of Leonardo da Vinci's painting The Last Supper, and how did he approach the composition of the painting? Some text goes here. Leonardo da Vinci's painting The Last Supper is a significant work of art for several reasons. It depicts the moment when Jesus announces that one of his disciples will betray him, and it is considered to be one of the most iconic and powerful depictions of this event in Christian art. One of the key features of The Last Supper is the composition of the painting. Leonardo used perspective and the placement of the figures to create a sense of depth and realism in the painting. The central figure of Jesus is surrounded by his disciples, who are depicted in various poses and expressions that convey a sense of movement and emotion. Another important aspect of the painting is the use of light and shadow. Leonardo used chiaroscuro to create a sense of drama and tension in the painting, with the light falling most strongly on the face of Jesus and gradually fading as it moves towards the edges of the painting. In terms of the painting's creation, Leonardo approached the composition in a meticulous and deliberate way. He made numerous sketches and studies in preparation for the painting, and he spent a great deal of time working on the composition and the poses of the figures. He also experimented with different techniques and materials, including the use of tempera and oil paints. Overall, The Last Supper is an important work of art that continues to inspire and captivate audiences to this day. Its powerful composition, use of light and shadow, and its depiction of a key moment in Christian history have cemented its place as one of the most iconic works of art in history. Some text goes here: how did Leonardo da Vinci's work as an architect influence his other areas of interest, such as engineering and anatomy? Some text goes here. Leonardo da Vinci's work as an architect had a significant influence on his other areas of interest, such as engineering and anatomy. He believed that architecture was closely tied to engineering in the natural world, and he approached his work in these fields with a holistic and interdisciplinary perspective. One way in which Leonardo's work as an architect influenced his other areas of interest was through his study of geometry and proportion. He believed that the principles of geometry and proportion were essential to both architecture and the natural world, and he applied these principles to his work in engineering and anatomy. For example, his study of proportion in architecture led him to explore the proportions of the human body, which he believed were also governed by the same principles. This led him to create some of the most anatomically accurate depictions of the human form in history, and it helped to advance our understanding of the human body and its functions. In addition to his work in anatomy, Leonardo's work as an architect also influenced his engineering projects. He believed that engineering was closely tied to architecture, and he applied his knowledge of geometry, proportion, and materials to his designs for bridges, canals, and other infrastructure projects. Overall, Leonardo da Vinci's work as an architect was closely tied to his other areas of interest, and it helped to shape his approach to engineering, anatomy, and other fields. His interdisciplinary approach to these subjects continues to inspire and influence innovators and thinkers to this day. Some text goes here. What is the significance of the Codex Atlanticus, and what kind of information does it contain? Some text goes here. The Codex Atlanticus is a collection of drawings and writings by Leonardo da Vinci that is considered to be one of the most important documents of the Renaissance period. The Codex is named after its size, which is approximately the size of an atlas. The significance of the Codex Atlanticus lies in its contents. The Codex contains over 1,200 pages of drawings, sketches, and notes on a wide range of topics, including art, science, engineering, and philosophy. It is an incredible testament to Leonardo's curiosity and intellectual pursuits, and it provides a unique insight into his mind and his work. Some of the topics covered in the Codex Atlanticus include anatomy. Leonardo was fascinated by the human body, and the Codex contains numerous drawings and notes on the structure and functions of the body. Engineering. Leonardo was also a skilled engineer, and the Codex contains numerous designs and sketches for inventions such as flying machines, water pumps, and weapons. Botany. Leonardo was interested in the natural world, and the Codex contains drawings and notes on plants and their properties. Optics. Leonardo was fascinated by the science of light and optics, and the Codex contains numerous notes and diagrams on these topics. Overall, the Codex Atlanticus is a remarkable document that provides a unique insight into the mind and work of one of the greatest thinkers and artists in history. Its contents continue to inspire and fascinate scholars and enthusiasts to this day.